And we're back with a very delayed, long opening because Dan decided to do his bed.
I had to.
So once again, this is by far the most unorganized, unedited, unadulterated MMA podcast on the planet. By far. Just completely like we planned to do this at 1 o'clock. It is now 15 minutes to 3. So that just shows how unorganized we are. Anyways, welcome Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. However, we are making progress. We have decided Saturday at 1. We're here. Saturday, 2:30, bang. We're good.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's improvement. That's all we're looking for. Improvement.
Hmm,
So yeah.
100%.
Um. Yes. What's been going on? What have you been up to?
Honestly, just learning, doing a couple of short courses. Really looking forward for everything to get better, hopefully. One day, getting back to jits, wrestling. Yeah, pretty much it, mate. Yourself? You told me that you worked out twice today, you maniac.
Yes.
Look at those stats. Looking good.
Well, I work shoulders, so I got to show off the traps. I didn't
Hmm.
do a very good shoulder workout because I was rushing it, but I did do a shoulder workout. But before that, one of my mates is a cop. Obviously, all this stuff going on, cops getting a little bit of bad press. He thought, oh, he's previous to all this stuff, he was trying to take up jits, but he asked me for a bit of help, like in this meantime while just waiting for all the gyms to open up. He's like,
Hmm.
oh, could you help me out with a little bit of jiu-jitsu or something? I'm like, yeah, not a problem.
Hmm.
So he came around at like 8 in the morning, and we decided to go over some stuff. But I did modify it because I figured, in my personal opinion, it could be wrong. Other people might disagree with me. But I feel like jits is not really something that's helpful for cops. I mean, you don't really want to choke someone unconscious. You don't want to break their arm. I mean, like putting them into a position where you can break an arm, break a leg, you're probably going to get even more bad press. So jiu-jitsu is probably not. Also, the whole philosophy behind jiu-jitsu is more of a defense once you've lost control of the situation.
Hmm.
But I felt wrestling would probably be more useful for a cop because it's all about control. Wrestling, the main thing is just control, control, control. Impose your will. Impose your will. So I figure that's probably a little bit more practical, I guess, for a cop. So yeah, we went over pretty much the basic warm ups, like arm drags, the clinch duck unders, the whole wax on, wax off arm drag. We put the hand on the shoulder. It's like, ooh, wax off, arm drag.
Yeah.
And then just showed him that the arm drag can be used from like numerous positions, not just standing there. Go for an arm drag. If they clinch up with you, if you can drop the arm, bag arm drag. They're like pushing and shoving, arm drag, stuff like that. Just different positions to use that one move from. And after going over all those positions, we end up on the back, or at least the side to the side. It's not really on the back that you end up. It's kind of to the side, but to the back. Because it's not to the side, but it's not to the back. It's an in-between position. And then I showed him just the knee tap. It's the basic knee tap. Because I feel like a knee tap is, once again, it's a takedown that's all about control. Like you go in for a double, you're kind of using momentum to throw them, and you kind of lose a bit of control, and then you land on the ground, and then it gives them room to kind of wiggle out. A knee tap, you're in control, bang, you're down, and you still got them.
Hmm.
So I figured for a cop, probably makes a bit more sense. Plus, they want them to be on all fours, or at least face down, so they can put the hands behind the back and cuff them. So I figure that's very like appropriate for a cop. So we went over that, and then went over a couple of drills, side control drills. So drills that he can do when he's at home, just to just to give him a bit more agility, make him feel a bit more comfortable in his body. So you know the side control drills that I always get you guys to go through, where you're on all fours, you kick the right leg out, then you step the left foot over, then left foot back, and then right foot back, and then left foot comes through. It's kind of just going around the body from side control, and then you go around the other side. So I got him to do that a number of times.
That's awesome. I think that's really, really helpful. And especially the insight that you mentioned, which is Learn wrestling first, that grappling aspect, in order to control the opposition.
Also, I just saw your hands go like that. I made
Mm-hmm.
sure I emphasized gable grip over and over because he kept on grabbing me like that,
Yeah.
which uses a lot of energy. Gable grip,
Mm.
clamp down in the elbows, head tucked in, uses a lot less energy and
Mm-hmm.
has so much more control. So I kept on going over that with him. Sorry, go on.
No, that's beautiful. You're absolutely right. Gable, it's become second nature.
Exactly right. Exactly. I give someone a hug and I gable grip, and I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Like everyone else, I go for a hug. It's like, oh, I'm like, nope, double unders. You're not fucking getting double unders. Don't you even try because I will throw you and I will feel good about it. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
that's
Go on,
hilarious.
go on. I keep on going off track.
No, I love it. I love everything you say. Just going back to our readers, let's just explain the techniques a bit.
Yep.
With what you were saying before in regards to the knee tap, after the arm drag, which is literally dragging the arm across, get to the back, from the back position, can you explain the knee tap for our viewers?
Yeah. So the knee tap, it's all about. So the goal is you want to take all their weight and put it into one area, and then you want to disrupt that area. So it's you're putting that weight onto one leg. So that
Mhm.
you got two legs. If they can balance on both legs, it's going to be a little bit harder to take them down. So you want to put all their weight onto that one leg, and the second you feel all that weight is on that one leg, you're not kicking the leg, you're not pushing the leg. You're taking your knee and you're tapping it, just a quick tap onto their knee. So, cause say, what's a good way to do this? So say, I've got my cables getting caught. Right. So say this is the knee. So you're
Mm.
just pushing it because you got all that weight pushing down. You push it, and the second you push, it collapses.
Yeah.
Because that's
That
that's the
is,
nature of that joint. So you're
mm,
putting all that weight there. The second you disrupt it a little bit, it's gonna collapse, and that's all
mm,
you're doing. You're just collapsing that knee. They fall forward. You got control. You got an arm trapped already, and normally they're gonna have one arm free. So at the very least, they're gonna brace themselves. They're not gonna slam in their face. So you're not hurting anyone. And yeah, so now they're in a face down position, good control, and an arm
mhm.
trapped.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is for a cop, like you say, you can take them down controlled, unlike, as you mentioned, like a double leg where you're lifting someone and dropping them on concrete, for example. This one can be very much controlled, put them down, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is something that I've been thinking about for the past like 2 weeks because he asked me about 2 weeks ago if I could help him out with this, and I was like, shit, what am I going to show him? What am I going to show him? It's like there's no point showing him anything from guard because like if you're a cop and you've ended up on your back, you've made some bad decisions. Like
Yeah.
it's like you should have backup. So if you got into a position where a guy's grabbed you, put you on your back, it's like where the fuck's your backup?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told him I can show him stuff from guard to like control their upper body so they can't
Mhm.
start raining down punches on you.
Yeah.
I can show him stuff like that, but I just figure it's probably not very useful for him. And he said, yeah, he
Yeah.
can when he gets back into doing classes, he can do stuff like that. Then for now, it's probably best just because I asked him at the start, is it because you want to learn jits or is it because you want to like improve your ability as a cop? And he said
Yeah.
improve his ability as a cop. So I said, all right, so we'll go over things that's actually going to help improve that, as opposed to put a spotlight on jiu-jitsu's great or wrestling's great. It's like
Mm.
that's irrelevant. Double legs feel good, they're great, they're not going to help you. Arm bars are good, they're great, not going to help you, and certainly not going to help anyone that you come across. It's going to hurt them a lot.
Mm.
I mean, if you're like you're not waiting for a tap if you're a cop.
Mm. Yeah.
It's not the gym. So none of that's helpful. So yeah, this is the best thing. Hey, if anyone listens to this and they've got better ideas, fucking throw them my way, please, because he wants to
Mm.
keep on coming over with me showing him stuff. So I'd love to show him more things that's going to help him for his job specifically. So if anyone's got ideas, please fucking. Even though we only have that one viewer, which I love, Jeffrey, you're awesome. Hey, if you got ideas, Jeffrey, throw them this way. So yeah.
Mm. Just let me, how can I say this? Correct me if I'm wrong. What
Mm-hmm.
I think you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is right now for the techniques for your mate, the cop mate to learn, for example, dragging the arm, controlling the opponent in a, how can I say, comfortable and controlling way to neutralize them is the best thing, as opposed to learning, from your guard how to sweep. That's something for later on.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Well, at the same time, like I made that mistake when I got into jits. I got too comfortable off my back. And if you get comfortable from that position, like that back position, that guard position, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of trouble when you come up against guys that got really powerful top games. Like
Mm.
you can be as good as you want on your back, but if you come up against someone that's as good on top as you are on your back, you're probably gonna lose.
Mm.
I'm talking about in a competition setting.
Mm.
I'm not talking about in like on the streets. I mean,
Mm.
most of the time you're not going to come up across someone that's going to know anything. But yeah,
No,
so
I agree with you. But even in the streets, like we've heard a lot of stories. Like we have a purple belt or blue belts that get knocked out by people just
mm.
Donkey Kong,
Well,
who have nothing.
we got a
They
story of a
don't come.
mate who I won't mention his name because that's just rude.
Mm.
But he pulled guard and the guy just ran up and punted him in the head.
Oh, that's terrible. Holy shit. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So
That is actually.
that's like guard's good, but at the same time he was probably drunk. Who knows? I mean, yeah. For that's yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that position.
No.
Like in the streets, you always want to be. The first thing you do is you're in a dominant position.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first thing you do is no, sir. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Please, I don't want any more. And then if they if they start coming at you, that's when you're like, all right, arm drag, back, knee tap, control. Are you calming down yet? No. All right, grab the arm onto your back, knee ride. I'm kidding. No punches. Take that back again. Choke them. We're all about chokes here, not punches.
Uh,
But
I
yeah.
don't know if you heard this, but I remember someone telling me that if you knock someone out or if you choke them out, they say that the law would see the choking worse as knocking someone out. Have you heard that? Like, for example,
I haven't
in
no.
the United States now, they're talking about outlawing chokeholds for cops. So you're not allowed to choke someone out.
Well, I mean, the thing about a choke is that it's still dangerous
Hmm.
because you're cutting off A, oxygen, and B, blood to the brain. Neither of which is
Hmm.
good. I mean, what's a stroke? A stroke is a blood
Hmm.
clot. A blood
Yes.
clot in the veins stopping blood going to your brain.
Hmm.
That's when you have a stroke. So that's not what you want. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
No, I
you're
agree.
kind of what's the word? Replicating the
Stroke.
same thing that happens in a stroke. Obviously, a stroke's far
Hmm.
worse because it's prolonged,
Yeah.
whereas a choke isn't.
Hmm.
So the effects of a choke are far less than a stroke, but it's still a similar thing.
Hmm.
So that's why a choke can still be very dangerous, and that's why showing a choke to someone, say like a cop who's never trained jiu-jitsu before, can be even more dangerous
Yeah.
because they don't understand how long it takes or what it feels like to choke someone. So they can, and
Hmm.
that's what happened to that George Floyd. They weren't aware that they've a choked the guy unconscious. Now he's been unconscious for a long, well not choked him, but taken away his air for too
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
and now he's gone limp. They don't really realize what it's like to feel a limp body,
Hmm.
and that's why when when you have someone that doesn't know much about these techniques, it's actually
Hmm.
more dangerous to have them using like yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like
I completely do. I
I'm
completely
tripping over
do.
myself a
Because
bit.
I completely do. Because, for example, at training, it you get used to people, for example, resisting your choke, or you're, or for example, when you're applying a choke, you're always for the lookout to see if they go limp, and you see it a lot. That even if you're putting a choke on, you if you don't feel any resistance for a bit, you just kind of really let go of it
Yeah,
and be like, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm
yeah,
fine." And then you keep going.
exactly. You're constantly like, "You good? You good? You good?" And you're like, "Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. You good? You good? You good? You good?" No response. Shit. You good? So it's like if they do go unconscious, it's like for a split second. It's
Mm.
really quick. But as I was, what I'm trying to say about the chokes is very similar to when you get a white belt, like a fresh white belt at the gym who's been watching a bit of UFC. And it's like, I'm gonna go for leg locks.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. That's so bad.
So
Go on,
that's
go on.
so that's for guys who train who don't understand what I'm trying to say. It's very
Mm.
similar to that. When you get someone who doesn't understand a position very well, but say
Mm.
they do get that position and they do go for say a knee bar, they don't understand how, or even worse, a heel hook. A heel hook
Yep.
requires such little pressure to tear the shit out of your knee, and they don't even realize that it's attacking the knee. People
Yep.
assume it's called a heel hook, it's attacking the heel. But the
Mm.
idea behind the name is that you're hooking the heel.
Mm.
The heel gets caught here, you're hooking it up, you're yanking on it, but that in turn twists your calf, your shin around, which obviously starts attacking now your knee. And
Mm.
that doesn't take much pressure. But a fresh white belt doesn't realize that. So say they go up against like another fresh white belt who doesn't know how to defend that move, they've now ripped the shit out of that guy's knee without even knowing, completely unintentionally, no malice intentions behind it, but they've just fucked that guy's knee potentially for a long period of time or even for life.
Mm.
And that's the same as when if you teach someone who doesn't know much about chokes and they go use a choke in a real life situation, say on the streets, a cop using it against someone, then they're not really going to understand what they're doing. They might choke someone too long. They might choke them, think that they're still all good, let them go. The guy falls down and whacks his head.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
there's
terrible
so
too.
many bad things that can happen. That's why, um, well, that's why all I wanted to show was control, just
Mm.
control. No putting a
Mm.
person unconscious. No, nothing crazy. Just control, control, control. And then
Yeah.
he can add his own police training onto that. So putting the hands behind the back, whatever they do for that, he can add to it. But I'm just showing him
Mm.
basic control.
Mm. No, I love it. And when he gets good at that, that'd be amazing because you're learning, as you mentioned, control
Yeah,
someone.
yeah. I also said just before he left, I'm like, don't go using any of this yet,
Yeah.
because you're still very, very fresh at it,
Mm.
and you might just end up hurting yourself because he's not. You know, when you first start doing like an arm drag, it just feels so weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right, and when you get to that back position, like if you haven't done the gable grip, it doesn't feel natural.
Mm.
You want to go to that, or you want to go to that, or you want to or
Mm.
something, or just
So
that.
like, yeah.
Yeah, or one of those. So I said, don't use it
Mm.
yet. Just start practicing. We'll just keep on going over it. Keep on going over it. When you get better and you feel more comfortable, maybe then you can start using it. But it's all very like incremental steps.
Mm.
And for the next couple of
No.
weeks, I'll probably just go over the same things. Just constantly go. It'll be super, super boring, but obviously he's not
Mm.
doing it for fun. He's doing it for his job as a way
Yes.
of doing extracurricular training for his profession.
I love it. I love it. Everything you've said, I love it. And good on you. Good on you for doing that.
No,
Just going back.
I was actually really excited about it. Sorry. Yeah, no, I was
Oh,
talking to my missus about it, and I'm like, it's really like I feel really good about this. I mean, I'm trying to show something that I've learned. Like, as I said to my missus, I've never been in a real life altercation or have
mm.
had to use
Okay.
anything.
No.
And yeah, I never want to
Okay.
be. I fucking
Mm.
never want to be in anything like that. But I've never been in a real life altercation where someone's really come at me and have had to use what I've learned. So I don't really know how all this would work in that type of situation. But what I
Mm.
can do is help show someone who is often in those types of situations and maybe he can use it to his advantage.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good. Especially
Mm.
because it's like a cop. And cops at the moment, they're getting really, really bad press. Really bad, like a lot of bad things said about them, especially over in America. And I don't feel like that's fair. You take one
Yeah, and
bad
especially for
you take one bad example and you've made that now the rule. That's not fair.
our cops here in Australia. We got great cops. I've had no bad interactions with any
Hmm.
cop. They still have given me tickets. Fuck you, cops.
Well, mate, we have laws. Speeding is one of them, and so is
Yeah.
parking. I mean, if you want to live in a civilized society, These are the things that have to be in place. That's the
That's
thing.
true.
Like if you're never putting yourself in criminal like positions, you're never gonna have a bad experience with a cop.
They do happen, mate. They do happen. It's very rare, but it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah, no. Okay, maybe never is
It's a
not the
strong word.
yeah
Yeah,
is a poor choice of words, but
rare.
you're not very often gonna find yourself in a predicament with the law.
Hmm. Just going back in regards to the story that you're saying with white belts going ballistic,
Yeah.
especially if they're watching like YouTube's vids. A white belt, and you're gonna love this. Fucking my right ankle tore all the ligaments. The
Oh
guy
no.
comes in, yeah, on his first class. The guy watched a heel hook online, didn't know how to do it, and I was literally just lying down. You know me, right? How I roll. I was just literally just lying down like this, just literally lying down. The guy grabs my leg, and I'm like, all right, he's trying to pass out, whatever. Fucking does bang yanks. Fucking tore my ligaments, all of it. I still suffer to this day. It's terrible. My right ankle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. See,
yeah,
that's
after, go on.
when it comes to teaching. That's why I feel like coaches kind of like this is coaches pretty much all across the board. They kind of overlook this. If a new guy comes in, you kind of got to speak to them first, not just say, "All right, jump into class now, roll." Speak
Mm,
to them first and be like, "Hey, listen, these are the rules. Don't go using anything yet that hasn't been taught to you from me.
mm,
Don't go or yeah, don't go too crazy. Don't go using anything. This this isn't about pride or like you have to win. It's all about learning. So you're gonna get
mm,
your ass kicked. That's a good thing. If you're not getting your ass kicked, then you're training the wrong people. So that's what you want. And if don't like a lot of people, as I said, they come from watching UFC, so they see heel
mm,
hooks and stuff in that. So like speak to them about like, oh, what do you know? Have you seen stuff? Have you watched UFC? Do you go on YouTube? Like go over stuff like because the thing is when it comes to a class, you're not getting a new person every single day. You're not gonna get like 5, 10 new people every day. If you do, well, that's a good day for you as a coach. You're getting more people, but it's very rare that happens. So it's easy to speak to individuals about what do you know.
mm,
And I haven't been doing the morning classes. I hadn't really done too much of that, so maybe I should start. I'm saying that coaches should do this, and I'm saying I should do this when I take the morning classes. If someone new pops
mm,
up, I need to ask them. Like I normally ask them what's their experience. So far, it's always been they've got some level of experience, so
mm.
they're not going to do anything crazy. But I feel like that you need to also say no fucking leg locks, you prick. Or if you go for an armbar, no cranking. We're
Mm.
all here to train. If you want to have a healthy relationship with your training partners, roll with them the same way you want to be rolled with. If you don't want to have your arm broken, don't go fucking breaking someone else's arm. Understand positions before you use them. Because it's the same. Like we've got guys at our gym who've put on arm bars and they've really fucking cranked that bitch. They just go nuts. It's like, dude, I didn't cause you any harm. What are you doing? We're training. Like
Mm.
that's what we're doing. We're training. There's no need to crank it. If I tap, I tap. Be aware of the tap. If you're not paying attention to the tap, you don't have a great deal of control, nor do you have the confidence to pull off that maneuver.
Mm.
You should have the confidence to put on an armbar and be like, okay, cool, I got it, it's on, he tapped, it's over. Or have the confidence to go, I put on the armbar, I'm watching, I've paid too much attention to his tap, he didn't tap, he's now gotten out of the armbar. Alright, I have the confidence to now adapt to that situation. It's
Yes,
training. You
yes.
don't have to get the armbar every time.
Mm.
Competition, fucking yank that bitch. It's cool. It's competition. I understand we're not there to hurt anyone, but you got a ref watching you. In training, there is no one watching you.
Mm.
So you got someone to separate it there. In training, there is no one.
Mm.
So you got to take those precautions in training.
That's actually an amazing observation because you're absolutely right. In competition, there's a ref constantly watching you. At training, you're trusting each other and you're working together. Do you know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Mm.
And like I've had a lot of like fresh white belts come in that I've trained with, and I have cracked the shits at them. Like
Mm.
sometimes people I assume some people probably see me as like a cranky training partner because if someone goes to pull off like a leg lock on me, I yell
Mm.
at them. I say,
Yeah.
hey, None of that. That's not cool.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
You're new here. You don't understand
Mm.
how much damage you could do to me by doing that.
Yes.
And you being new, I'm not going hard on you. So I'm giving
Mm.
you positions so that you can learn. So if you're taking advantage of that and you hurt me, I
Mm.
in turn have to go hard
Hurt
against
you.
you,
Yeah.
and you're not going to learn as much.
Mm.
And this is how you lose a relationship with a training partner.
Mm.
I've had situations before. um, I put a triangle on a guy once. This
Mm.
was when I was a white belt, and the other guy
Mm.
was obviously a white belt too. I put a triangle on him, and he fucking picked me up and went to slam me because he was a lot stronger than I am. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, if you slam me, you better hope that I go out because I will hurt you.
Yeah.
Don't fucking slam me. And he's like, oh really? I'm like, what do you mean really? This isn't. That's not a question.
Yeah.
What? Really? As if, oh, if I knock you unconscious during training, that's a bad thing.
That's insane. Holy shit.
And then obviously he's used
Yeah.
up all that energy to pick me up. Now it's gonna expend more energy to put me down softly. Cause I'm not letting go of that triangle. I just worked hard to get that position. So I'm like, put me down so I can finish you off.
Oh god, that's absolutely insane. Holy fuck.
Oh man. Oh, I had another one where you may remember him, TTD.
Yes, TTD.
The
I
name
remember him.
TTD for those listening, it's a name that we gave to a training partner, no longer a training partner, because often guys that roll like this don't last very long. It's just the way it
No.
is. Because they have that mentality of win, win, win. The second they lose, they're gone. Well, not the second they lose. If they lose to someone higher ranked to them, they see that as okay. I was expected to lose. When they start losing to the people that started at a similar time to them, they can't handle
Mm.
it. It's a real
Yeah.
crush to their ego. But this guy we called TTD because it meant to the
Okay.
death. That's how he rolled. He rolled as though as like you stole his lunch money. You made a your mum joke. I don't know. You did something real mean, and he just went to
Mm.
town on you. Like
Mm.
the story that I have with him, I chucked him in a triangle.
Yeah.
It's all fucking triangles. I don't even use triangles when I roll. I don't know why all my stories my two stories are like from a triangle position. But anyways,
Mm.
I put a triangle on him, and he couldn't get it. Like he tried getting out of it, and I slowly started put my grab my shin
Mm.
to lock it up. As I did that, he moved to the side, and he just started knee me in the head.
Oh, holy shit.
I'm not even
That's
joking.
bad.
I'm not even joking. And I'm like, obviously I covered up. I'm like, what the fuck? So I grabbed the hold of the triangle even more. I swept him over, got on top. I'm like, don't you fucking dare do that again. And I cranked on the triangle, went back to my back, and I just fucking cranked on. Normally I put the triangle on, put it on nice and
That's
slow,
fine.
grab the legs, and I squeeze. Like I put my
Mm.
arms. So you got that. I put my arms under and I squeeze.
Mm.
I didn't do that. I did the good old. You put the triangle on, you pull on the head, and you. I don't normally pull down on the head because I feel
Yeah.
like it's using
Yeah.
less technique. I feel like
Yeah.
the leg should be the thing choking you out, not
Mhm.
pulling on the head.
Yeah.
In that instance, I was like, "Fuck you! I'm not happy now."
I love it. I love it. Holy shit. I love it.
That's
I
how it
love
is.
it.
All right. So we kind of gone on a bit of a tangent, but that's the idea behind teaching techniques that aren't going to hurt anybody to someone that
Mm.
doesn't really understand, hasn't been training that long.
Mm.
There we go. That was a good. I feel like that's been a good 30-minute start to the chat. Look at that, bitch, please. All right. Should we get into the card now?
All right, let's do it.
All right. So we have UFC on ESPN, Blaydes versus Volkov. UFC on it on ESPN 11, so it's the 11th show they've had on ESPN. Well, free show. All right, should we start from the bottom?
Yeah, sure
Started
thing.
from the bottom. Now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Hubbard. That name rings a bell. Let me look him up. What?
Yeah,
Why does
he
that ring a
fought
bell?
that Olympic silver medalist Mark Madsen.
Ah, yes. And he beat him. No, he lost him.
No,
No,
he lost.
he lost.
He
That
got
guy.
ragdolled bad.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why he rings a bell because
Yes. The guy joined airlines.
Yes,
The good old suplex.
I remember because when that fight was on, I forgot who that Mark Madsen guy was, so I
Hmm.
picked Hubbard.
Hmm.
And then the second I saw the guy, I was like, I know who that is. Ah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. I was like, this guy's gonna get killed. Why don't I choose Hubbard? And sure enough, the fight starts. He's like, God dunk, God dunk, God dunk, God dunk. Oh man, Hubbard had some good moments though in the striking. He had some good
Yeah.
moments, but he did, as you said, he earned some high flyer miles.
Hmm.
It was grim.
He broke his chin though. He broke Matson's chin.
Oh really? God damn.
Yeah, he
Was
broke
that
his
from
chin.
Madsen landing a big takedown and landing on his chin?
Yeah, he did get ragdolled, but yeah, he landed some good hands on him.
Hmm.
But that's a testament to Matson fighting through a broken chin. Good on him.
That's true. It's very true. Well, unfortunately for Hubbard, he's fighting yet another wrestler who has credentials.
Really? I have no idea who this guy is, so
Collegiate.
take it away.
I've just looked it up then. Collegiate wrestler represented the NC State Wolfpack, and he's a gold medalist at ACC championships, whatever that is. So he's credentialed. He's won a gold medal at some kind of wrestling event, which is more than I can say. So he's a better wrestler than me,
Mm-hmm.
and he's undefeated. So this feels like a setup fight for Hubbard. I feel like Hubbard's just been sent to the Wolves, because from the Wolf Pack. See what I did there? Even though I spelt it out and it ruined the joke. Yeah. So just based on looking at that and what happened to him against Madsen, I'll take
Yeah.
Max Rojas. Him. Take him. That guy.
Hmm.
Take Max.
But not all two wrestlers are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he may have gotten ragdolled by Matson, but Matson is a silver
Yeah.
medalist in the Olympics. There's a big difference.
Mm.
So we'll see how it goes. I was actually impressed with Austin. Even though he was hearing some miles, just like you said, he was calm. He landed shots. I think it's going to be interesting because it shows one, how good is this takedown really? As in, he got absolutely ragdolled. Did he go, hey, I got absolutely ragdolled. This is something I need to work on? Or did he just go training as usual?
Mm. Well, yeah, that'll be tough because like everyone's gonna get ragdolled against like an Olympic medalist. So,
Hmm.
um, no, you bring up a good
So
point.
I'm
You know
going to
what?
go Austin on that.
I'm gonna change my pick to Hubbard. You've changed my pick.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know who the other guy is. Complete unknown. But from what I've seen with Austin, I was actually impressed, even though he got dominated. He kept his calm, he kept his cool, and fought through. But again, at the same time, he didn't have that urgency. You know you're getting absolutely dominated. You in the end of the third round, you need to go balls to the walls. I either knock this guy out or gas out and get knocked out. One of the two.
He kind of did though. It just wasn't enough. He fought pretty hard in that final round. Like he had some really good moments, but every time he had a good moment, he just get put back on his ass quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The second Madsen lost a bit of control, it was like, whoa, no, get my control back, grab, hold, drag to the ground. Whether it's pick up, drag, trip, whatever. Kept on getting it back down, and it was a tough fight. Anyways, we've spoken a lot about this fight, and we don't even know one of the guys. Um, let's move on. Oh wait, did you pick one? Did you pick Hubbard?
Yes, I think Austin.
Okay, cool. Roxanne Modafferi and Lauren Murphy. We were talking about this before we started the podcast. I personally think that this fight being so low is disrespectful to the two chicks. I understand the skill level in this weight class at the moment is pretty low, and their skill level may be pretty low in regards to being well rounded. They're both pretty much grapplers. Neither of them have a very good striking game. Yet with other chicks, they have good striking, but they don't necessarily have a good ground game. That's how the division is at the moment. It's still evolving. It still needs a bit more time, which we
Mm.
also attributed to the UFC constantly cherry picking Invictus talents. Like, hey, you've become champion. No more. Come fight this person over in the UFC. Give up your championship. Don't gain that precious experience that you need. And that's kind of why the division's a bit weak at the moment. Personally, that's just my opinion. And I feel as though these chicks are pretty high. Like they're in the top 10 of the division. They should be, and this is somewhat of a contenders fight. Like the winner of this either could go fight for the title, because we made a joke about this about a month ago, or maybe a couple of months ago. The fact that this fight being made is it's almost a number one contenders fight,
Mm.
almost. So the winner of this could either fight for a number one contendership spot, or they could fight for the title. The division's that thin right now that either the winner of this could get a title shot. Therefore, if that's what this fight means, it should be higher up on the card. I mean, you got Tisha Torres, who's much higher on the card, and she is not. She's on like a four-fight skid. She's not getting a championship shot anytime soon. Whereas you got these two ladies coming off a win. They should be higher up because this fight does mean more for that division. So I feel like this being that low is kind of disrespectful. And in saying that, I'm going to go with Roxanne Modafferi because she always powers up and wears like a Dragon Ball Z wig. And I think she's highly underrated. But if you rate her, she's probably overrated. So she's at. That's mean, Roxanne. If you watch this, I take that back. I love you. I really do. All right, and that's why I'm picking you. I picked her against Macy Barber as well. I just her ground game. It's not. She's nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. You're not gonna see her going for all these fucking rolling thunder type of bullshit. She's gets it. She grabs a hold, trips you, drags you down. She doesn't go for a crazy double leg. She doesn't go for a sexy single leg. She just grabs a hold of you, finds a way to trip it, like knee tap, fucking trip, something like that. Gets you down, gets on top, controls, throws a couple of punches when there's an opening, takes it back, take some, and where the opportunity arises, as like Gracie Jiu Jitsu fucking fully originated over, when the moment arises to take a submission, she takes it. She doesn't force it. That's like New Age Jiu Jitsu, forcing a submission. She doesn't do that. She's very old school. I love her style, and I think she'll be able to take Lauren Murphy down. And I don't think Lauren Murphy's a grappler too. I don't think her grappling is going to be up to scratch for Roxanne. That's my opinion.
I agree with you in regards to Roxanne's top control. She has good top control, will take people down, will maintain position. I love that. I think that's very, very smart. I personally think Roxanne's striking is garbage. I think Lauren Murphy's a level ahead of Roxanne in the striking department. So the question is, just like I said before, can Roxanne take down Murphy and keep control? If she takes her down, I can definitely see her take control. But that's if she takes her down. You think she can, and therefore she'll win. I completely agree with you. If she does take Lauren Murphy down, she will win. I think what's going to happen is Lauren Murphy, if there is a brain in her corner, will go, okay, this is Roxanne, non-existent striking. All she will do is spam takedowns, set up takedowns with her striking, and spam takedowns. All you have to do is stop and outpoint her. Stop the takedowns, you will outpoint her on the striking. So I think what's going to be is it's going to be a fight in the clinches along the fences where Lauren Murphy will keep it up because she knows what's coming. So if she had a training camp, it will be purely stop the takedown. So I think she's going to stop the takedown and outpoint her. So that's where we diverge. We completely agree about their strengths, but I don't think Roxanne will take her down. I think that she would have, if there is a brainer in her camp, just focus on takedown defense.
Um,
Take it away.
I just want to add on to that. Roxanne Modafferi's striking. I actually really like her striking, and let me say why. Because with a lot of these grapplers that get into striking, they always take the big. It's like when people get into jiu-jitsu, they want to do the flying armbar before they can do a basic armbar. They want to do they want to do a double leg before they've learned any level of control. They want to do a suplex before they've done a double leg. They want to do all these crazy things. And same thing with striking. You see all these people throwing all these big hooks, big overhand rights. They're going for that knockout shot. But they don't have a jab. They don't have a straight right. They don't have any of the basics. They don't even parry. They don't parry any punches. None of that. They have no head movement. Roxanne has added those basics to her game that, like, this late in her career, like, I haven't seen any of the other chicks do. Obviously, higher level strikers have done this, but in terms of grapplers taking on striking, she's done it really well, and that is what won her the fight against Macy Barber. People say the knee injury did. No, Macy was losing that fight before then. Macy was going for all these fancy kicks, big hooks, and none of that was working because of the fact that Roxanne kept her hands nice and high, moved a little bit, not too much. She knew where her boundaries were. She knew how good she is and how good she isn't. She didn't do anything too crazy. She jabbed. She's not athletic, so it wasn't a powerful jab that's really going to spark you up. It was just touch, touch, straight right. Touch, touch, straight right. And that's all she needed. Basics. Pure basics will win over big fancy hooks if the person throwing those hooks aren't setting them up correctly. And Lauren Murphy doesn't have the striking, what would you say, experience or IQ to set stuff up like that. So I feel as though even in the striking realm, Roxanne isn't going to light her up. She's not going to do anything super amazing, but she has the striking that's going to frustrate Lauren Murphy to the point where she's not going to see a takedown coming. And that's why I feel Roxanne Modafferi has the ability to win this fight
Hmm.
in all aspects.
You're,
That's just my opinion. That's what I saw in a fight against Macy Barber, and I was really, really, really happy to see it. I was upset
you're
not to
right.
see it finish.
You are right. Roxanne has gotten better in her striking department. You are right. My view is she got better from here to here.
And I 100% agree with that.
Gotcha. Okay. Then
No,
we'll see how it
I
goes.
agree. I agree. The thing is that when people look at striking, they assume that better striking means more powerful punches. It's not always the case. And that's what Lauren Murphy has never really established a jab.
Mm,
If she's throwing punches, she's throwing hooks.
mm,
And straight punches, normally, if the person throwing them is like setting them up correctly, which normally you want to hide it behind a jab, it's normally going to be quicker. It's going to hit you more
yeah.
often than the hook's going to hit you if the hooks hit you.
Mm,
And yeah, I just feel like Roxanne Modafferi has like the basics necessary to frustrate someone that's not like going against someone like Valentina. She like Roxanne's gonna get fucked up bad.
mm,
Like all you have is basics. Well, this person has basics, and then everything else.
mm.
But against someone that doesn't have basics and tries to use the fancy shit, it's like having someone that's got a really good flying armbar, but they don't have, I don't know, a guard
Yeah, I
in
get you.
any aspect. They've got this really cool flying armbar that they're able to do when someone's like just allowing them to put the armbar on. It looks really fancy, but they have no idea what to do from guard.
Mm.
And that's yeah, all right. I'm going too long on this. I'm trying to convince you. We'll see. That's just my opinion. Anyways, moving forward, Frank Camacho. This guy is awesome. I think he's Philo actually. I think everyone's Philo. Let me have a look. He's probably not. Frank the Crank. No, he's not even close. My bad. What is that? Guamanian. Don't know what that is. That's what he is. This guy's fun, man. This guy's really fun. Goes.
Who-
Sorry. No.
No, no, he fought Billy Dallas last.
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Go on. You're saying?
Yeah, when he fights top competition, he gets beat, but that's okay. But when he fights guys at his level, or even just a little bit above his level, he has some fun fights, man. His fight with Drew Dober, yeah, that was just a fucking slugfest. That's all that was, just a slugfest the entire way through. And Drew Dober, he was like, I could beat you in so many more ways, but I will oblige. And that's exactly what happened. Just fucking slanging and banging. And his fight with Li Jing Liang, same thing. That's what I mean, guys. At his level, either at his level or just a little bit above, which I put Drew Dober and Li Jing Liang at that level, just above. And they fucking Drew Dober, he's a little bit better now. Drew Dober's he's added more to his game. He's a little bit better now. But at that point in time, he was just at that just a little bit above level, and he put on great fights. That when he fought Damian Brown, same level as him, great fight. It's when he fought guys like Jeff Neal. All right, now you're in a bit of trouble. Jeff Neal, he's no joke. And Benil Dariush. I mean, you fight a guy like that, takes you down, chokes you, it's game over. But yeah, Frank the Crank, big fan of him, and I'm really excited to see him fight this Justin James guy, who I've never heard of, but yeah. Anyways.
First fight in the UFC, his debut.
Mm.
That guy has an. I don't know if this is right, but it says here his reach is 171 centimeters, whereas Frank's reach is 185. That's insane if true.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm just. Okay, so this fight was supposed to be Camacho against Matt Favola, but Favola was pulled from the fight during the week leading the events after a teammate Hornun tested positive for COVID-19. Despite two negative tests, Favola was removed from the card. Okay, so that's why it's been a late replacement because Camacho was meant to fight Favola, which I would have favored Favola in that fight, but they pulled a just a random guy to take his spot, so the fight would still happen.
Mm, that's fair. Let's move on since we have no idea who this guy is.
No, but it should be a good fight, so make sure you watch it, yeah?
Hmm.
I think either the Crank or the new guy miss weight. It doesn't say here which one miss weight, but I'm just on Wiki. Alright, Courtney Casey and Gillian Robinson. Should be fun. You got striker versus grappler. Old school. Unfortunately, when it comes to striker versus grappler, the grappler doesn't have very good takedowns. The striker's going to fuck him up, and that's pretty much how this is going to go.
Does Courtney Casey have good takedown defense?
Don't know if she has good takedown defense, but Gillian Robinson isn't a wrestler. She's jiu-jitsu all the way. So her only way is just going to be hold and drag, but if you know what it's like, if you're not very good at takedowns, or even if you are, if you spam takedowns and they don't work, you get tired quick. So, and Courtney Casey, wait, she come up a weight? Or have they both come up a weight?
Yeah, she used to fight Asteroid.
Yeah, there we go. I didn't watch her fight against Cynthia Calvillo, so I don't know how she went there. I haven't seen her against any wrestlers. She fought Claudia Gadelia, but if Claudia grabs a hold of you, she's gonna slam you down. She's pretty strong, and she does have decent wrestling. Um, shit. Courtney Casey's had a lot of fights, man, in the UFC. I don't know. I can't remember how good her takedown defense is, but I know I normally pick the striker when it's against someone that comes from like a more jiu-jitsu background.
Yeah, I don't know how this one's gonna go. Courtney Casey, she's a weird one.
Split decision queen. Well, not
Oh,
queen.
is that what happened?
She's lost a lot of them, but she had three split decisions in a row, and she lost two of them and won one of them. All right, just keep on talking. I am going to urinate.
All right. So Courtney Casey versus Gene Robinson. That's an interesting one. So Courtney Casey started off on a 0-2, according to what I'm watching, with a loss to Joanne Calderwood, Seong Ham, and then won two later on against Random Marcos with a submission. That's interesting. And a decision loss to Claudia, beat Jessica Aguilar, lost to Felice Herring, lost to Michelle Watterson, beat Angela Hill. Very inconsistent. Then lost to Cynthia. Interesting. And then beat Mara Romero. Very interesting. Robertson's grappling skills. That's the interesting one. If she can land the takedown, I've seen her very dominant on the top. And going by the fight against against Barber.
Alright, I'm back, and I heard you say interesting a lot. What's interesting? Describe this interestingness.
Courtney Casey's been really inconsistent. She has wins against, for example, Angela Hill, right?
Yeah.
And then she beats Randa Marcos. She loses to Joanne Calderwood, who I don't rate. So that
Oh
was a
wait,
long time ago.
she submitted Ronda Marcos.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
that's interesting.
Ronda Marcos is no joke, especially in terms of her grappling. That's very impressive. Talk about inconsistent. Jesus. Ronda Marcos is consistently inconsistent. It's like win loss, win loss, win loss, draw, win loss, win loss, win loss. But
I'm gonna go
she
with Robertson on this one.
going with Robertson.
Yeah,
I like the fact
I
that we're on either side. That makes me happy. But I do understand why you pick Robertson. I do understand because as you said previously, her grappling, like if she can get the fight to the ground, she can be very dominant with her grappling. So
yes,
I do understand
yes.
where you're coming from.
All right, that is my.
Alrighty then, moving on to the middleweights. I don't know these guys, do you?
I just know I do.
Okay,
And the reason as to why,
I'll let you take it off then. Take it away.
okay, the reason as
47.
to why is because Oscar, he fought against Rodolfo Vieira, who is a BJJ world champ. And since we all train BJJ, I have a keen interest on world champions transition into MMA.
Mm.
And Oscar actually did all right. He looked okay until he got taken down, and that was the game over. He looked okay on this feet. Mark looked all right. His last fight was against the last fight I saw of him was against a Korean guy who he just like a zombie just came straight forward, took the shots, and didn't even trade smart enough. So just lost the decision win, which I thought was really stupid. Like I don't know what his game plan was. So based off that, I'm gonna go with Oscar since he actually looked good standing. He looked good until he got taken down, and I don't think Mark has the game plan to just take someone down, submit them. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Oscar. He actually looked good striking wise, whereas Mark didn't. That's that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I just looked up that guy that Oscar lost to, the Vieira. His nickname is the Black Belt Hunter. Dude, with a name like that, don't get taken down. Oh my god. What the fuck? If if I rocked up to a comp and I found out the guy that I was about to roll, his nickname was the Black Belt Hunter, I would be so fucking nervous because I'm like I know I'm going to lose. Or it would go in the complete opposite direction. I'll be like, well, I meant to lose. I got nothing to lose. Here we go. But holy shit, a name like that, don't get taken down. This is a bad, bad idea. Fuck, I need to look this guy up. Fuck, anyone that trains jiu-jitsu that would watch this and hear me say something like that, be like, you're not a fan of jiu-jitsu. You don't know this guy. How do you not know? I don't follow jiu-jitsu, man. I just don't. It's just how it is. I love it, but I don't follow it.
I'm the same boat. It's unless even in comps, unless it's someone you know who's competing, it's so boring to watch. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, well the problem is like when you get two guys at a similar level competing in the same sport where the rule set is very confined, like jiu-jitsu, it's very hard unless like one person has to be like so much better for it to be exciting because that would create dominance and then there will be a lot of transitions because the person's not as good because they defend, 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 and then there'll be a finish. That's what makes it fun. What does not make it fun is when two people of equal level are grappling and neither guy wants to take a risk because they know that the other guy is dominant in certain positions and they don't want to end up there, so they're being very, very careful. It just gets super boring.
Yeah, and it becomes a stalemate.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember once, dude, it's really dark in your bedroom. There we go. Yeah.
Let there be light.
Whoa! I can see your pretty face again. Um,
Thank you.
shit. What was I saying?
You were talking about how if two people of equal skill in jiu-jitsu and basically don't want to take risks and it becomes a stalemate.
No, put your camera down. There we go. Yeah. I don't know if you were there. There's a guy named Kit Dale. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
An Aussie Jiu-Jitsu champion. I think he said he's a world champion, but I don't know if he's actually won on a world stage or if he won like an Australian championship and it was called the World Championships and he's now calling himself a world champion. But yeah, at a certain point in time, he was the best Australian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, pretty much on the like from Australia to compete like against guys from other places. Like he was like our representative guy. Anyways, I remember watching him at a comp once, and he was so used to come to these Aussie comps, and they'll kind of just like warm ups for him for like the bigger comps, and he just blow through black belts, Australian black belts with relative ease. And he came up against one guy, and the guy wasn't playing ball. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna let you beat me that easy." And it got so boring. But the way Kit won was he just started complaining to the ref, saying he's stalling, he's stalling. When it's like, bro, you're not passing either. So like, say he's stalling all you want, take a risk. But he didn't want to take that risk because as a black belt, he knows he didn't get here by accident. He must be good. If I take a risk, I run the risk of being beaten now. And that's yeah. I was trying to use that as an example of why it's boring. Hopefully that explains it. Anyway, let's
Yeah,
go on.
so they both didn't take any risks and it just stalemated and nothing really
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, moving on to the women's strawweight division, you got Tisha Torres against Brianna Van Buren. Uh, yeah, is this? I think this Brianna Van Buren, is she undefeated? No, she's not, but she is on a four-fight win streak, and she recently won the Invicta Strawweight Champion. Example of what we were saying before. UFC is like, you won the championship, please come here, fight for us. Maybe you can do something cool. And now Tisha Torres is fighting her, so I assume it's a setup fight for Tisha to lose, and then they'll probably handball Tisha off because Tisha's on a four-fight losing streak now. She has lost to chicks like Andrade, John Jacek, Weili Zhang, and Marina Rodriguez. Who is that? But well, she's undefeated and she had a draw with both Ronda Marcos and Cynthia Calvillo. So Marina is no slouch either. So her Tisha Torres' losses they're not to chumps. She's not losing to chumps. She's
No.
losing to the best of her division. But she is on a four-fight losing streak, and in those fights, she hasn't shown anything apart from she is not as good as these people. So it's and how old is she at this point? 30. I don't know if 30 is old or young athletically for a female, but she's she's.
Torres, Mexican supplements though, still good.
What are you saying, sir? What are you saying? Um, yeah, so I feel like this is probably a setup fight. I haven't seen this Brianna lady fight, but I assume she's being put here to push her into the higher ranks.
Hmm.
So Papello, it's
I
like,
think
okay,
you're right. This is a fight to push her in the higher ranks to see whether or not she's a legit contender. Because if you look at Tisha Torres, right?
hmm
Tisha Torres lost two in her last four fights. Weili Zhang, future champ. Joanna, former champ. Jessica Andrade, former champ. Just like I say, to the best of the best.
hmm
So, if Brianna beats Tisha Torres, then she can go to the next level and fight those. She's in that level. She can fight those and become a future potential champion and a contender.
mm.
So this is definitely a setup fight in the sense that let's take a look at how good you are, as opposed to set up a fight for Tisha Torres to lose. That's what I think.
Actually, you know what I've just realized?
Mm-hmm.
Tisha Torres has fought every female strawweight champion, UFC strawweight champion that there's been so far, except for no, she's even fought Carla Esparza. She's fought them all. All the
Yeah.
all the ladies that have held the strawweight championship, she's fought them all. Carla Esparza was on the show on the tough season, whatever number that was.
Mm-hmm.
She fought Carla Esparza, lost to a majority decision. So I
Mm-hmm.
assume that it was only a 2 round fight. So I assume one judge gave it a draw and the other two gave it to Carla Esparza.
Mm-hmm.
She's fought Rose Namajunas twice, beat her once, and obviously the other three names that you mentioned before. So she's fought like the best of the best, and she's only fought the best. Her second fight in professional fight was against Paige Van Zandt, and her second fight was against Rose. Her fourth fight was against Felice Herring. Fifth fight was Angela Magna, which I remember her. I don't. She wasn't really any good. But then she fought Angela Hill, who we know to be good. Wasn't as good at that point in time. Angela Hill has shown a shitload of improvement. But yeah, the point is, she's fought the best of the best all the way through of her division.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah,
agree with that.
this definitely has the feel of a setup fight. But then if
Mm.
she loses, it shows that Brianna is good because Tisha is she's no slump, she's no chump. She isn't. She's just fought the best of the best and she's on a losing streak.
Mm.
So
So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna watch this fight.
uh, Torres and Brianna.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's this is what makes fights fun when there's a story behind it, and we've forced ourselves to believe in a story here. But hey, that's what's fun. It's fun. We got a story. We got something to look at. It's like, all right, is this chick gonna be one of the next big things? If she wins, hopefully she wins in a way that shows us something that will show that she can compete against the champions or the contenders of the division. Other contenders, sorry. All
Mm.
right. So I'm gonna go with Brianna because it just feels like I haven't seen Brianna fight, but I just feel like that's the type of setup that's being put out there right now. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just going back a bit, I'm looking at Kid Dale. It says here he won the Abu Dhabi World Championship at blue belt
Hmm.
and another one at purple belt.
Oh wow, that's good effort.
Yeah, good effort, but
So not the
it's not
trials.
black belt.
He
It's
didn't win
not
the
black
trials.
belt.
He actually went to Abu Dhabi and competed at the championships.
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't specify.
Jeffrey, did you want to do some research and help us out with this? Because I feel like you probably know more.
Hmm.
If not, you don't. But hey, leave in the comment section.
Moving on. Clay Guida still fighting. What a man. What a man.
Dude, Clay Guida has. Oh man. he's been around for so long, and he's not a contender anymore, but he was a contender for like the longest stretch ever. Like he's been fighting in the UFC since 2006. Dude, 2006?
Mm.
Like 2010 was a decade ago. That's
Yeah.
14 years.
I was in high school.
He's fought Josh Thompson, Gilbert Melendez, Din Thomas, Tyson Griffin when Tyson Griffin was a beast. Marcus Aurelio, who at that time was coming off wins over he was a Pride lightweight champ. Gomi
Going.
beat Gomi. He's fought Roger Huerta. He's fought Mac Danzig, Nate Diaz, Diego Sanchez, Kenny Florian, Rafael dos Anjos. Beat him. Takanori Gomi beat him. Anthony Pettis beat him. So he's had wins over champions of his division, but he's never won it. He's never had a championship shot. Nor obviously, so he's never won one. The only championship he won was the first Strikeforce lightweight championship. It was the very first strike. He beat Josh Thompson for that, but then he lost to Gilbert Melendez. But he's fought the best of the best through and through. Hey, he beat BJ Penn. That's another lightweight champion that he's beat. Obviously, that win doesn't hold as much weight. And
Anthony Pettis before he won the championship.
yeah, well, that's exactly what I was just saying. He beat
Mm.
RDA and Pettis.
Mm.
He tapped RDA out with pretty much shoulder pressure. Broke his jaw, but yeah. So man,
Yeah.
gotta love Clay Guida. Then you got Bobby Green, who hasn't been around for nearly as long, but he was on a hot streak for a bit up until he fought Edson Barboza. He was doing really well. He won what is it, 6, 7, 8 fights in a row against top guys. I mean, Jacob Volkman was at that point in time coming down from welterweight. It was not a contender per se, but he was a name, a decent name. And then he beat James Krause. Who, man, if you can beat James Krause, I'm a believer in you. Beat Pat Healy, who once again at that point in time, if you could beat Pat Healy, he was a legit contender. Josh Thompson, fuck, I think enough said. If you can beat Josh Thompson, you're pretty good. And then he ran into some tough dudes like Edson Barbosa, Dustin Poirier,
Mm.
Rashad, Magomedov, Lando Venata, Eric Kirk, Jakar Close, and Francisco Trinaldo.
Mm.
That's no easy stretch of fighters. Obviously, he's the type of guy who wants to fight the best of the best, but he's a guy like similar to what we always say, or what I always say about Michael Johnson. Not that he eats his shit whole, but the fact that he's fought the best of the best, and that's why his record looks so spotty. I mean, you can
Mm.
only fight the best for so long, and win consistently. There's only so many guys that can do that, and that's like Mighty Mouse, John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva. I mean, it's hard to be up there with those names.
I agree.
But yeah, fought the best of the best. Both guys have, but they are coming to the end of their career.
Mm. I agree. The
Anyways,
only difference is
I have no
Clay
idea how to
Guida's
pick this
nearly
fight.
40.
Sorry.
I agree with you. This is a pick and fight. Clay Guida's nearly 40, but Bobby Green, I'd imagine he'd have better hands. And I think he got robbed against Francisco Trinaldo, but it was too close against a guy in his 40s. So it's really a pick and fight. I don't know which way it'll go.
A
I
man in
lean
his
towards Bobby
40s,
Green.
but does Francisco Trinaldo does not fight like a man in his 40s. Francisco
The
Trinaldo is fucking good, man. He's fucking good, and he's deceptively good. You look at him, you're like, big buff guy. He'll tire early. 40 years old. He's not in his athletic prime. Then you see him fight, and you're like, oh, okay. So third round, he's still going. Uh oh. Shit. He's pretty good. So yeah, losing to him, but yeah, close fight. I really have no idea how to pick this fight. Clay Guida doesn't have power in his hands. He spams his wrestling on people. By spam, I mean he doesn't wait for a good opportunity to go for a takedown. He just goes for takedowns over and over and over. Similar to uh, Kebab, but not as good as Kebab, obviously, and nor is he as big as Kebab. But just spam, 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 spam. But Bobby Green is a pretty decent wrestler too, so it's like you can spam all you want, but you're actually gonna get that takedown. Bobby Green, as you said, good hands. So I'll pick Bobby Green via like TKO or something in like maybe the second or third round.
Mm. All
Just
right. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bobby Green too.
spamming into them fists, these hands. All
Mm.
right, now onto the main card, onto a fight that I'm actually really excited about. I love Jim Miller. I've always loved Jim Miller. I wish he could fight forever, but he cannot. And this is a fight that's going to show whether or not he can fight for much longer because he's going up against an up and comer. And this is one of those fights similar to the Tisha Torres and Brianna fight. It's to show this person. Jim Miller has always been at that. He was at a contenders level for a long period of time. Went on a killer streak, lost, went on another streak, and then he started. I think he had Lyme disease or something that really hit him hard. Lyme's disease, not Lyme disease, not Lyme's disease. Yeah, that fucked him up. That put a real. Oh man, I fucked up. Got some water in my glasses. Trying to wipe it off. I'm just making it worse. Yeah. So, anyways, this is one of those fights that's it's a showcase for Roosevelt Roberts to see if he can beat Jim Miller. He can now start fighting, say, top 15, top 20 guys. Because I don't believe Jim Miller's up there. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the rankings, but Jim Miller is probably not in, say, the top 20 at the moment. Let's let's have a
Agree with
look at
that.
his last couple of fights.
He lost against Brock Ultimate.
Hmm. Yeah, he's been very inconsistent as of late. Yeah, so it's a showcase fight. Jim Miller, he's got great grappling. He's got very good striking fundamentals. He's a southpaw, which confuses some people. And Roosevelt Roberts, he is huge. He is fucking huge for that division, man. Hey, who missed weight in that fight? Was it Roosevelt? Was it Surely it wasn't Jim Miller.
I have no clue.
All right, I feel like looking that up now. Anyway, so I'm gonna pick Roosevelt. Roosevelt. Oh, nah, fuck it. I'm going with Jim Miller. I'm gonna go with Jim Miller. I feel like he's gonna use his veteran savvy, get the fight to the ground. Phenomenal top game. Take the back, submit. That's Jim Miller's got this. That's what I'm going for. And even if Jim Miller gets put on his back, Jim Miller has a good guard for a guy that's a top game player. He has a great guy. Wow, who was it he submitted? Fabricio Camores, who was a pretty high level Jiu-Jitsu black belt, third degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Royley Gracie, and he fucking submitted him from his
Hmm.
guard. So yeah, if you can submit someone like that from your guard, your Jiu-Jitsu is pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going with him. Anyways, you can take it from here because I want to look at who missed weight.
Yeah, Roosevelt just fought Brock Weaver, who I think I don't rate highly. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Let's just move on because I don't have much to say. I agree with you. It's a setup fight, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, as you said,
Cool.
he fought Brock Weaver. You don't rate very high, but that's exactly what this fight is for, to get him out of that like fighting nobody's type of realm.
Hmm. Jim Miller, like you say, past his prime, but still has veteran savvy. So
Mm,
see how it goes.
should be interesting.
Lyman Good is someone that I was keeping an eye on. He looked good up until the Damian Maya
You
fight.
you're keeping an eye on him because he's got a fucking sick physique. That's why you'll keep. Don't go saying I was keeping an eye on him because he's got some talents. You know, he's got some talents. It's because he turns you on in the pants. Be real.
Hmm.
Sorry, go on.
But he's fighting Bilal Muhammad, who I think is actually all right. I think Bilal Muhammad, if he turns it into a wrestling match, he can win this.
Um, Yeah, I don't know much about Bilal Muhammad. I feel like I should. I've seen him fight a few times, but I don't remember any of them. And I'm
Mhm.
looking at his record and I'm seeing a lot of decisions, so maybe that's why I don't remember them. But he's beat some decent names. I mean, Jordan Mean, Tim Means, those two great fighters. Curtis Millender, I was high on his striking for a bit. Yeah, he's Alan Jaban, he's good. I like him. Jeff Neal, he's good. He's lost to both those names. Vicente Luque, dude, if you're fighting those guys, you're no slouch. But yeah, don't know too much about him.
Mhm.
Lyman Good got good power. I have no idea how this fight's gonna go. One guy's a wrestler, one guy's a striker. I'd have to go with the wrestler.
Mhm.
Always go with the wrestler. So yeah, I'd go Bilal. Is that who you
All right.
chose?
Bilal is the wrestler, and Lyman Good is the striker.
Yeah, and you chose Bilal.
Yes, I'm choosing Bilal.
All right, cool. We've both got the same person. All right, now on for the best fight on the card: Raquel Pennington and Renault.
Hmm.
I'm being sarcastic, by the way. It's not gonna be a fun fight. Neither of these chicks have power, and I don't see them taking the fight to the ground. Pennington she likes to strike, and Renault, from memory, she likes to do the same thing. And neither of them, from what I've seen, have like any kind of knockout power. So it's going to be touch, 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 touch. I'm not, and you're going to be looking at the fight going, I am so glad I'm not a judge here, because I have no idea who won. No one really did enough to make me go wow. So unless, hopefully, Pennington can implement some level of grappling, because she doesn't have bad grappling. She has perfectly fine grappling, but
Yeah,
she just
I
never.
think this will go, like you said, into point sparring.
Mm,
And Pennington, what's scary is her striking is a lot better,
mm,
but she's so inactive. So I'm looking forward to it. See what's going to happen.
yeah. Pennington had her best showing when she fought Misha Tate. She
Mm.
came in against that fight against Misha Tate and she pushed the pace and she pushed it hard. And she looked like she was going to be something. But then she had that, I think it was was it a car accident, motorcycle accident, where she broke her femur. Yeah. And from that point on, since she's come back, because she came back from that fight and she fought Amanda Nunes immediately. She had like a year and a half, 2 years off. Obviously, say 6 to 8 months of that would have been rehab,
Hmm.
recovery, and then a couple of months of rehab. And she bang went and fought Amanda Nunes.
Hmm.
So yeah, fighting Amanda Nunes was not. It wasn't good for her confidence, and I feel like that's been haunting her ever since. But she beat fucking uh Irene Aldana, which who I rate. I really do rate Aldana, who's fighting home next, and she beat her split decision, but it's not bad. And shit, you look at Pennington's last couple of fights: Misha Tate and Amanda Nunes, Jure Duranamy, Aldana home. So almost all of them are champions to some respect, former champions or current. So she doesn't lose to nobodies. I mean, even early in her career, she lost to Kat Zingano and Leslie Smith, and she lost to Jessica Andrade via split decision, but then came back and choked her out.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Raquel on this.
Mm, yeah, I agree. I agree. Plus, Renault she's pretty old, man. She's like in her
Yeah,
40s, 42,
I mean,
dude.
yeah,
For
if you
any,
lose to,
for either
oh,
gender, 42 is old for any
mm,
kind of athletic activity.
mhm. If you lose to Yana Kunishkaya, well,
Yeah, let's.
really fun.
Oof, oof. Okay, yeah. Definitely Pennington's fight then. Maheta, I hope you didn't hear that. Don't hurt us. You know that's Maheta's missus, yeah?
Who's Maheta?
Um, call him my headset because I can't remember his actual name. Fort Santos Fort John Jones.
Thiago Santos.
Yes, that's his Yana Kunitskaya. That's his missus.
Really?
Yep. So be careful what you say about her.
Okay.
You're like, she is awesome. She should have won all her fights. Damn judges. All right, Josh Emmett and Shane Burgos. This should be a fun fight. This is
Mm.
man, Emmett's got power. Emmett's got serious power.
Mm-hmm.
He's got fuck you power. He's got the type of power where I'm losing, I'm losing, I'm losing. What? 1 second left? Fuck you. Now I'm Cody Garbrandt. He's
Yeah,
good. He's
it's gonna
got
be a good fight. It's gonna be interesting. I personally think Shane has better striking. I think he has more solid fundamentals. I think he's very relentless in putting pressure, so he's more likely to win a decision. But like I say, Josh Emmett has fucking power. He can knock out anyone.
mm. And it's always hard trying to pick a fight when a guy has fuck you power.
Mm.
Like picking a fight against like Anthony Johnson, it's like, all right, so Gustafsson, he has a better ground game. He has much like far superior striking. He can fight long. He can fight short. He can use he can use his feet. He's got phenomenal footwork. And then he goes out there and gets put to sleep by Rumble. And that's kind of how this fight is. It's like, okay, Shane Burgos, as you said, probably better striking, better all-round fighter. But Josh Emmett, I mean, Josh Emmett was losing against Michael Johnson handedly. Michael Johnson was fucking destroying him for 2 rounds, 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So there was less than 50 seconds left in that fight. Wait, so I think 46 seconds left in that fight. There was 46 seconds left in that fight. And he knocked the fuck out of Michael Johnson. Knocked him into next week. Like, put him to sleep. It hurt to watch. So, yeah. I We have to make a pick here. So if we
Yeah,
have to make
I'm
it,
down. I'm going with Shane.
going with Shane. Well, I'm gonna say fuck you and go with Josh Emmett because of that fuck you power. He's gonna lose every second of that fight and then go, ah, fuck you. Wait, he might even wrestle. He's supposed to be a good wrestler. Who knows? He might wrestle him. Maybe, and then Shane Burgos might show some good jiu-jitsu. We'll see. I don't see that. That's not gonna happen though, is it? They both like to throw. They like to throw down. All right. Now the main event, the heavyweights. Fights never go to decisions when it's heavyweights because they throw so hard, unless you've got a really good wrestler.
Mm.
And Curtis Blaydes, I'm hoping that he does the good old lay and pray because I just want to see people go sad panda about the main event. And plus, I rate Blaydes like really high. I'm just really upset that he's lost to Ngannou twice because that means that as long as Ngannou's there, Blaydes can't go anywhere. He can't do anything.
Mm.
So for the division, Volkov is a bet. He's more like he's an ideal winner in this kind of situation because it does create some more talent at the top of that division, as opposed to just Cormier who's going to retire after his next fight and Stipe, and obviously Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see Blaydes. I haven't seen, as you said, Volkov got taken down by fucking Werdum. If Werdum can take you down, pretty sure Blaydes going to take you down. Blaydes has really good ground and pound as well as you saw against uh Overeem. But yeah, I don't see him putting away Volkov. I feel like Volkov's he's pretty savvy, but he's going to be taken down and controlled for the majority of the fight, and probably for 5 rounds unless Blaydes gets tired.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
my
agree with that.
my pick is Blaydes. Anyway, you can go.
I agree with that. I think this will go pretty much like Alistair's fight, where he's just going to take him down, just like you say. if Fabricio Werdum can take it down, Curtis Blaydes can take it down. It's not a knock on Fabricio Werdum's wrestling. It's just that Curtis Blaydes is a better wrestler.
Hmm.
He has good double legs. So yeah, I'm going to see takedown and ground and pound. So TKO win to Curtis. I hope I'm wrong though. I really do. I'd like to see Volkov fight for the title.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying I really want Blaze to win, but it would be nice to see a fresh face at the top of that division. And Volkov he's been chomping at the bit for that position for a while. And he like talk about like fuck you power when he fought Derek Lewis, and there's literally 11 seconds left in the fight, and he gets knocked the fuck out after winning every second of that fight, even dropping Derek Lewis a couple of times.
Mm.
And if it wasn't for that, he would be on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he won that fight, 7, and then Greg Hardy, 8 fight win streak. That's the best kind of win
Yeah.
streak in the division. But because of that, he's on a 1 fight win streak. But before that, he'd won 6 in a row, which is
Mm.
pretty fucking good for heavyweight, man. Not many heavyweights have a streak like that, unless they fought nobodies, which he didn't. He fought Werdum, Struve, Nelson, Timothy Johnson. Okay, so some of those names aren't the best, but he did fight some good names. So yeah.
All right. Is there anything else to add?
Um, no. Fuck. Next week. Oh my god, next week. Poirier and Hooker. Ah, I'm so excited for that. That is such a good fight. That is the fight that I wanted next for Hooker. I'm so excited. We won't go breaking down our opinion of who's going to win or anything, but that is a great fight.
Mm.
That is a great fight. One of the best main events you can have. You even got Aspen Ladd on that card. I'm so excited.
I agree.
Hiccups.
I agree. I'm looking forward to that. And finally, Bob Ross is also fighting, so that's going to be exciting.
Yes, everyone loves Violent Bob Ross.
Mm.
On the fight card after that on Fight Island, 3 championship fights. Although Peter Yan Josie Aldo does not feel like a championship fight,
Mm.
but it is. But okay, we got to touch on this. Fight Island. We all got excited about that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Technically it's on an island, I guess. But it's also at a literally at a place where they've already had 3 fight cards previously. So it's not like they're getting this big fancy island and buying it for the fights. This is Yaz Island in Abu Dhabi. They've already held fights here. This is where Frankie Edgar took the title from BJ Penn.
Ah, got you. That's
And
good.
where Nogueira got knocked out by Nelson.
Mm.
And where Poirier got fucking smothered by Khabib.
Mm.
So they've been here multiple times. So the whole Fight Island thing, it kind of feels misrepresented.
Marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's oh man. When I realized where it was, I was like, God damn it. God, this isn't some fancy Caribbean island. This is Abu Dhabi in the fucking desert. It's not Fight Island. Those shirts that you showed, they had palm trees and shit. I'm looking at a picture of this island. That's sand. That's all it is. There's no fucking palm trees there. I'm looking at sand right now. That's all I'm looking at. Fucking sand. You lied to me. I feel lied to. I'm not gonna watch this card now. I'm kidding. I'm really excited for Burns and Usman. I'm really excited. I feel like Burns has a fucking real chance here. I feel like he has a better chance than anyone else that other than Colby at beating Usman.
Mm.
So yeah, yeah. All right.
No, I'm
I've,
excited too.
that's my little tangent.
Mm-hmm. But when you put it that way, it feels like, they got us. It was a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Fight Island. Everyone's talking about
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Next level shit.
UFC, not the letter C, like the water C.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
they did
That's pretty cool.
they did get us. They got us good. I got.
Mm.
Poor
Told you
Cormier.
so.
Kumi was talking about for ages, like, Fight Island, where's Fight Island? I'm so excited, blah, blah. Finds out where Fight Island is. Oh, disappointment.
All right. On that note, let's end it here.
Alrighty then, my friend. That has been an hour and a half. It's not bad. It's not bad considering we started the first half hour off talking about literally no fight talk. So it's good. It's good, man. Do you have anyone to thank?
I would like to thank you,
Oh,
our
me? No,
handsome host.
that's not what I was getting at, but okay.
I would like to thank you, our handsome host, for always setting this up and making this possible, making this true. I really enjoy our chats and sharing stories, and I love it. I really do.
Yeah, so do I, man.
And hmm, and I would also like to thank all our nurses, everyone, doctors, everyone who's fighting against COVID-19. Hopefully, we get rid of it. And also would like to thank Scammer Jim, Team Takedown, and Aussie Pet Doors.
Yes. I concur with all that you just said. But also, like, share, subscribe, tell people if you like the stories that we've been telling, if you like anything about this podcast, if you don't like anything about this podcast, tell us about it. Put it in the comment section. Let us know. Press like. If you really feel like it, press dislike. I don't give a shit. Just show some form of caring, even if it's hate. I appreciate the hate as much as I appreciate the love. It's all good here. So yeah, please, probably should have said this at the start. Please leave a comment. Let us know. Let us know something about what you think of this podcast, because feedback is feedback, whether it's positive or negative. I take it all as positive, because that negative also means I can improve on something, and I love to improve on something. I always love improving. I love learning. So there we go. All right. Peace out, and we shall see you next Saturday. We were late this Saturday, but hey, it was still a Saturday. We're getting there. We're showing improvements. See you then. Peace out, man. I love you.